Good morning, Miss. Good morning, classmates. My topic is factors pertaining to the changes in every stages of personality development. Personality development has have five stages. First stage is the oral stage. In the first stage of psychosexual development, the libido is centered in a baby's mouth. During the oral stage, the baby gets much satisfaction putting all sorts of things in its mouth to satisfy the libido and those its ID demands, which at this stage in life are oral or mouth oriented, such as sucking, biting, and breastfeeding. Freud said oral stimulation could lead to an oral fixation in later life. We see oral personalities all around us, such as smokers, nail biters, finger chewers, and thumb suckers. Oral personalities engage in such oral behaviors, particularly when under stress. Second stage is the anal stage. During the anal stage of psychosexual development, the libido becomes focused to the anus. The child derives great pleasure from defecating. The child is now fully aware that they are a person in their own right and that their wishes can bring them into conflict with the demands of the outside world. Freud believed that this type of conflict tends to come to a head in potty training, in which adults impose restrictions on when and where the child can defecate. The, the nature of this first conflict with authority can determine the child's future relationship with all forms of authority. Third stage is the phallic stage. The phallic stage is the third stage of psychosexual development spanning the age of 3 to 6 years, wherein the infant's libido centers upon their genitalia as the erogenous zone. The child becomes aware of anatomic sex differences which sits which sets in motion the conflict between erotic attraction, resentment, rivalry, jealousy, and fear, which Freud called the Oedipus complex for boys and the Electra complex for girls. This is resolved through the process of identification, which involved the child adopting the characteristics of the same-sex parents. Uh, Fourth stage is the latency stage. The latency stage is the fourth stage of the psychosexual development, spanning the period of 6 years to puberty. During this stage, the libido is dormant and no further psychosexual development takes place. Freud thought that the most sexual impulses are repressed during the latent stage. The sexual energy can be sublimated towards schoolwork, hobbies, and friendships. Much of the child's energy is channeled into developing new skills and acquiring new knowledge, and play becomes largely confined to other children of the same gender. Last stage is the genital stage. Genital stage is the last stage of Freud's psychosexual theory of personality development and begins in puberty. It is a time of adolescent sexual experimentation, the successful resolution of which is setting down in a loving one-to-one relationship with another person in our 20s. Sexual instinct is directed to the heterosexual pleasure rather than self-pleasure. During the phallic stage, the proper outlet of the sexual instinct is adults and adults was through heterosexual intercourse. Fixation and conflict may prevent this, with the consequences that sexual perversions may develop. For example, fixation at the oral stage may result in a person gaining sexual pleasure primarily from kissing and oral sex rather than intercourse. That's all. Thank you.